Okay, folks, Andrew Bopros here. I'm going to do a quick video talking about minicamp. Pretty interesting conversation. Again, guys, it's just we're out there, underwear Olympics, just running around 11 on 11, 7 on 11, or 7 on 7 drills, 7 on 11. Anyways, you know what I'm getting at. But look, these are just drills. These are, really for the most part, the people that are going to get highlighted are skill players. But there's a few players I want to talk about that I think really stood out, and really Jim Harbaugh had some really great conversation points to talk about. A few players that I want to highlight. This is a little bit of an hors d'oeuvre for our live episode on Sunday. We may have a special guest. We shall see. Should be a good video. As always, let's get into it. Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bopros. So let's talk a little bit about this, really where it starts from the leadership position, right? Now, Jim Harbaugh talked quite a bit about the Elite Nine, which I thought was pretty interesting. And he talked quite a bit about how these players, well, let's just read the list, right? Just Justin Herbert, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Tuli Pelotu, as we all know, is really hoping we could step up, be amazing defensive end this year. Zion Johnson, Lad McConkey, who had a breakout season last year as a rookie, of course. Joe Alt, again, who had a breakout season as a rookie last year, of course. Rashawn Slater, we're going to talk more about him a little later. And then Dion Henley, we're going to talk more about him as well, and Derwin James. But another person he also talked about is Josh Harris, the long snapper for special teams, right? And, you know, so the emphasis is elite training, right? These are, not only raw talent, but people that, have a strong work ethic and are real leaders in the locker room. And I think that list is perfect. Actually, I would actually almost think that those are probably the players that most likely will make the Pro Bowl this year as well, too, depending on how things play out during the season. But I know Joel came back. He came out bigger. Justin Herbert came out bigger. Khalil Mack is just Khalil Mack. The guy's just a freak of nature. You know that. I know that. Hell, the league knows that. And we'll talk more about Dion and Derwin James here in a second. But, a lot to be said about this man's leadership. I also want to talk about the patches he has. I'm going to talk more about that a little later on in the video. But he did a really I love how he's made this culture his own. In his second year, I think it's going to be great moving forward because he's really getting these guys to buy in and really elevate their game as leaders and as players in the NFL, which is super exciting to see. So, anyways, I could gush over what Jim Harbaugh has done over and over again, but man, he's just been, what a contrast from what we had with BS, aka Brandon Staley, compared to what we have now. True leadership is in the room. The adults are in the room right now, and we're finally seeing some things move the right direction. But I want to talk about Derwin James here. And again, I want to highlight the patches that I had alluded to it as well, too. And he knows he's got quite a bit here as well. These patches are really interesting because they show accomplishments like Chargers team captain, which we all know is like right here, team captain. So he's just adding to that patch, right? Block Courage Award winner, Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, right? Which is right here, Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. And, all of these things, holds a Charger record, holds an NFL record, has earned all pro honors. Actually, this is kind of an interesting one, too. And I think Jim Harbaugh came up with this one. Chargers Block of Granite Award winner, an award for weight room accomplishments, which I thought was pretty interesting as well, too. But look, at the end of the day, you need to be recognized. People get motivated by different things, right? It just goes to show you Jim Harbaugh's thinking about that as well, too. How do I get more patches? How do I do these different things? How do I improve my game? Look no further than the leaders, and these are the Elite Nine. These are the leaders that are really going to motivate and move this team the right direction. So it's just exciting to see, and I love the patches. I think it's a great idea. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's cheesy? Do you think it's hokey? Leave a comment down below. I personally think it's awesome, and Derwin James has looked absolutely amazing in camp, by the way. A lot of people are saying he already looks like he's in midseason form. Again, remember, he's one of the Elite Nine, but he stole the spotlight, particularly in day one, right, with a series of splash plays. Again, under Jesse Minter's defensive coordinators, tutelage, right? I think it's a fun little word. But, bottom line, Derwin James, we all knew what he could do, right? And Jesse Minter clearly has utilized him effectively. He's used him in nickel and safety positions. He broke up a screen pass on a blitz during 11 on 11 drills. Again, he had an acrobatic interception in the end zone, the red zone, tipping a pass from Trey Lance and juggling it for a pick. and then also tipping one over to Denzel Perriman as well too. So like Derwin James is amazing, and the fact that he's used the way he's used correctly, this is the correct way to see him line up. Clearly, Jesse Minter knows how to use his guys the right way. So again, I don't want to, you stay on this slide forever, but Derwin James is showing why he is his Derwin James. He's that good. One guy that I think will step up as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. He's our leading tackler last season as well too. Dion Henley. And again, he's got just a few patches, really only had 1 year to play in the NFL. By the way, he should have been a Pro Bowler last year. I'm just going to say that right now. The fact that he was not a Pro Bowler actually kind of ticked me off. But Dion Henley was absolutely incredible last season. I fully expect him to be a Pro Bowler this year. I mean, the man, he does it all. He's a sideline to sideline type of linebacker, and he does a great job of stopping the run as well too. So again, I'm just excited to see him back. Obviously, he's coming back, but I'm excited to see him ready and really ready to take his game to the next level. I truly believe he will. And especially being in the same defense scheme, this upcoming year, I think he will be absolutely dominant, which is exciting. And again, we all know Jay Herbo. I mean, look at how many patches he's got as well too. Look, I just think bottom line, he's, Herbert, I'm going to say this right now. Herbert is going to have one of his best years this upcoming year. Same system, more weapons, better offensive line. He is going to have a phenomenal season. I'm going to say this right now. He'll be a Pro Bowl player this next year. A lot of people are predicting that we're going to be an amazing team this season. I think this is the opportunity for Justin Herbert to really show he can do it. We got someone like Acho who always just sits back and says, well, he's never won a playoff game. He's a nobody. He's not done anything. Look, the reality is Herbert really has to prove that he's that next guy, right? We all know he is. We all know he has the talent. Sims talked about this. I think he ranked him 8th out of, all the quarterbacks in the NFL this season. He's consistently dropped on his list because he hasn't been able to win those big games. Herbert can do it this season. He now finally has, let me land my plane. He finally has the team around him so he can succeed. You think about his best years. He had Williams and Allen and, he had a lot of weapons and Eckler around him, but the defense wasn't great. Now he has a great defense. And now he has a better offense, right? They are set to be a top 10 offense and easily a top 10 defense this year. So that will make Justin Herbert absolutely shine. I'm excited to see what he does. And again, Greg Roman even said this, that Justin Herbert also he can actually run the entire offense now. And he doesn't even need him to run the calls or anything of that nature. He can literally run the offense. He knows the offense that well. So it's exciting to see him have the same type of offensive scheme. It's great. This is really what a young player needs to have. And again, remember, Justin Herbert is still young, right? He's 25, maybe turning 26 this year. So look, at the end of the day, plenty of upside for him. He's going to be in the league a long time, and we're excited to have him. So just wanted to highlight Justin Herbert. Again, I could talk about him forever. You know that. I know that. We're excited to have him. One other guy that I think is important to talk about too is Rashawn Slater. He doesn't. I think there were some discussions that he might not make minicamp because it is mandatory. He would have been fine, I believe, around $100,000. Maybe it's $100,000 per day. I can't remember exactly, but the man is making on his 5th-year contract $19 million. Okay, so let's be very clear about something at this point, right? If he didn't want to be there, he wouldn't be there. And he showed up. He did his own thing. Now they talked quite a bit about him as far as his contract and everything is concerned. He said, I'm not worried about that. It'll all work itself out, which is very true. Guys, he's still making $19 million this year. Now, probably a big reason why we did not extend or give a 5th-year option for Zion Johnson. We'd given Zion Johnson, he would have made probably $12 million. That money is going to go to Rashawn Slater. Zion needs to prove what he can do. If he can become an elite center, then he can move forward, right? But again, Zion Johnson is great, but really most of the money has to go to Rashawn Slater this year. They'll figure out Zion Johnson next year. We've got a lot more money available. But Zion has to prove it this season. So, again, but Rashawn Slater is elite. You know it. He's elite. And, again, he's absolutely one of those guys that the team absolutely needs to sign. He did mention that he's not worried too much about the contract. It'll play itself out. He will get there at some point. It will work itself out at some point. So, I'm excited. And, even if he plays out his whole year, we'll go from there. But I do think there is a good chance this next month we get it completely finalized and he is signed before actual camp. So it's exciting to see. One guy I want to highlight from the rookie side that has really splashed in minicamp and a few others have as well too. But Aronda Gatson has absolutely looked incredible for the Chargers, and it's exciting to see a guy like this. I think we picked him in the 4th round, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section below. No, 5th round. Sorry, 5th round out of Syracuse. But again, Herbert said this. He said he picked up the offense really well, and he's been getting a bunch of reps with us. He said anytime we get out there and get him the ball, see what he can do. He's already made some big plays, right? Again, I think it was 7 catches for the 7-on-7 drills. So he's looking good. And again, remember, the defensive backs aren't really playing full speed. You know that, I know that. But the skill players are really getting the highlights. So let's just, take it for what it's worth, right? But again, if you could get a guy like this to pair with someone like a Tyler Conklin with the rest of the wide receiver crew we have now and the running back team that we have and the offensive line being improved, guys, the offense is going to be absolutely stellar this season. I just, and I've said this before, that if you could get these rookies to really hit, like a Trey Harris, who has looked good in camp, KLS, Keandre Lambert-Smith, who has looked good in camp. Obviously, we all know what Amarian Hampton's going to be, right? But he's behind Najee Harris. Najee Harris or Amarian Hampton probably going to be, splitting carries at some point, right? But look, I'm just saying, if you can get some of these rookies to hit like they did last season, guys, the sky's the limit on this team. It really is going to be absolutely amazing. And again, I just think it's great. And again, I just wanted to highlight Oronde Gadsden. He's absolutely looked incredible. Greg Roman even said, going back to my point with Oronde, is he's afforded himself well, very mature, and he's ascended quickly. Jim Harbaugh, he even said for 3 minutes on his presser that Oronde Gadsden, you can't get him to leave the building. He's always there. He's always training. As soon as they're done, with practice, he's automatically in the weight room, working out, getting more reps in, doing absolutely everything he possibly can to get his body ready to go for this season. That's exactly the Harbaugh type of guy. Who knows? Maybe it's an Elite 10 here before training camp starts. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, literally, I would not be surprised. It's actually pretty exciting to see. But again, look, he's 6'5", 236 pounds. He's a good-looking tight end. He's really more of a big, wide receiver catching tight end. But he'll be obviously used in blocking plays at some point as well too. But anyways, other people look good. Brandon Rice has had some nice stuff. Trey Harris has looked good overall. But look, I don't want this video to be too long. We're going to talk more about this on our live on Sunday. Again, we may have a special guest, so we shall see. But look, again, I'll just wrap up my final thoughts, right? This is camp, right? It's camp. We're out there, in underwear Olympics. It's nothing too crazy. They're not hitting each other. There's no pads. There's none of that stuff. But look, you can at least look at some of these players and say they're looking good. The coaching staff is excited to see what they can do moving forward. Now it's the evaluation time. Now we have a little bit of a break. There's an opportunity for these coaches to sit back and say, okay, this looks good. This looks good. I like this guy. This is where some other things might start happening moving forward, right? Going into camp, are they happy with what they have? Do they want to make some moves and go get some other players? Do they need another offensive lineman? Do they need another defensive lineman? What are their thoughts moving forward? This is really when those decisions are made, when camp is over and getting ready for training camp, right? So I should say mini camp is over, getting ready for training camp. So should be good. And guys, please come to training camp. I know we have, the Bolt Bros are going to be a little bit busy right around when camp starts. We're going to get there as soon as possible. Please, if you see us there, we're definitely going to let you know when we're going to be there. So we'd like to talk to you and have a conversation with you, take a photo with you, and get to know you guys. Again, it's one thing to do the podcast. It's another thing to meet people in person. It's an important thing to us. So as always, Andrew, Bolt Bros, see you guys in the next one.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast.